Welcome back to San Joaquin Audits. I found this video yesterday from my dad's channel, San Joaquin Valley Transparency. It comes to you from the channel Jessica Luther Rummel. Watching the video how she puts this officer in check, it is outstanding. She definitely told him some things that struck a nerve, and due to the way he reacted, it seemed to me like he was hiding something. So I did some of my own research, and what I found is absolutely going to blow your mind. Stick around to the end of the video, you will not be disappointed. And go subscribe to Jessica Luther Rummel and let her know San Joaquin Audit sent you.
Somebody will be with you in just a second.
I'll tell you what, I'll go inside, and the sheriff can make me leave if he wants to, sir.
Stop.
The sheriff can make me leave.
That's enough.
Sheriff Murphy, come tell me why I'm not allowed to be in this room. I have a right to be in this room like everyone else. It's a public meeting in a public facility that my tax dollars pay for. I'm happy to stand in there quietly and document. I have a right to be in that room. It's not a closed session.
They have made it a closed session.
They cannot do that, sir. No, they cannot. Under what rule?
Under their rules,
Sir, it's a public event.
they have gone into an executive session.
Really? Then why are there other people in there with guest tags on? Why was I the only one made to leave?
Don't know the answer to that.
Sir, because they're lying. It was just a ploy to make me leave. Congressman Burgess is in there making a speech right now that is supposed to be a public speech. He is a congressperson. And you're telling me I don't have a right to go in there and document it?
I'm telling you, the people who have
This is not a private room. No, sir. They didn't rent this. I already pulled the records. They didn't rent this room. This is a public building that my tax dollars pay for.
yelling's not going to get
Sir, I'm going in that room. You going to arrest me? You going to arrest me? Are you going to arrest me? Yes or no? I'm going in that room. Make your choice right now. You make your choice. Tell me, am I under the threat of arrest if I go in that room?
These people have asked you not to go in there.
Sir, they don't have a right to do that. It's a public meeting.
They have made it a private meeting now.
Because I'm here, that is not allowed.
They can go to executive session.
They're not in executive session. It doesn't even exist. It's not a thing. It says public meeting. There are other people in that room with a guest name tag on. No, you make your choice. Tell me right now. Are you going to arrest me for going in that room? I am going in that room. And if one of those officers put their hands on me, I'll sue the fuck out of you and them because they have no lawful order to touch me.
Get in line.
Yeah, get in line because you're such a stand-up dude, right?
I understand.
You're fucking lying. Those are not the rules. I will cuss you. I have a First Amendment right. You told me earlier you're all about the Constitution.
That's right.
What about my constitutional rights right now?
They've gone to executive session.
No, they have not.
That's what they
Then
told
why
me.
are there other people in there with guest name tags on?
I don't know the answer to that.
They can't do an executive session for a public meeting.
Then sue them.
Public meeting. I'm going in that room. Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. Well, then we'll go in that room, get me put in jail?
You're not going in the room.
I am going in the room. So you're telling me you won't arrest me for going in that room, but you're using your deputies to stop me from entering a public space. You told me, I have you on film, you told me 30 minutes ago, this is a public space. I have a right to be here. I have not done anything. No, sir. That meeting was posted as a public meeting.
And they've gone to executive.
No, they have not. They can't just say, oh, it's not public anymore.
Yeah, they can.
No, they can't because they didn't reserve the space.
Then sue them.
I'm not going to sue them. I'm going to stand up for my rights right now. So what I want to know is you're using your cops to serve as lynchmen for the Denton County GOP. They don't work for Denton County. They work for you. They do what you say and what the GOP says.
They do what I say.
Yeah, they do what you say. You don't get to just make up the law as you go along and decide that all of a sudden a public event is a private event.
They decided that, not me.
They can't do that.
Then sue them.
I don't want to sue them. I want to go in the room because it's my right to do it and document what's going on in that room.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Why did you tell me it was earlier then?
Because it was a public meeting then.
It was always a public meeting.
Then you
They didn't apply to use this room. There's no record of them getting approval from the Commissioner's Court to use this room for a private event.
complain to the commissioner.
I've been to these meetings before and they're public all the way through. I have never been made to leave. They're just mad because I'm documenting.
I don't know why they're mad or what they're doing.
It doesn't matter what you know or don't know. Your opinion really means shit, Murphy. What you're doing right now is you're using your fucking deputies as lynchmen for the GOP. And I hope you stand behind it because you know everybody's going to fucking see this. Shut the fuck up, you fucking
I
idiot.
don't care who sees it.
I know you don't care because you get away with murder, right?
Oh, yeah.
You do.
How's that?
I'll tell you what, Murphy, since I got your full attention, how about I stand out here and talk to you right now? Why did your department cover up the murder of Lamont Stowers Jones?
You don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that, really, because I have every report, every call log, every note ever filed through your office, and I know this. I know this. I know. Oh, your buddy? Ranger Barnes, who now works at UNT, who was removed from the Texas Rangers like you because he got caught being a fucking thug? Because he's a murderer like you?
That's a lie.
You're a murderer.
You're a liar.
You covered up the murder of Lamont Stowers Jones, just like your department, or working with Barnes, helped cover up the murder of Darius Tarver. It's funny, huh? You think Darius Tarver's death is funny?
No, it's not. It's trash.
Then why are you laughing?
Because you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot? Yeah. You know what you are? You're a fucking thug.
You're a fucking idiot.
You wear a white hat just like the Cluxers that came before. You're mad. Look how mad you are. You're fucking mad. You can hardly control yourself. Yeah, you killed your wife too.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Go.
You can't make me. Don't you fucking touch me. Get the fuck off of me.
Go.
I'm in a public space.
Go.
No.
Man, it's time to leave.
Go.
It's time to leave.
Go.
Let's go.
Go.
I'm in a public space. You told me I could be here. You can't make me leave just because you don't
Go.
like what I say.
Go.
You can't change the law just because you don't like what I say.
You're yelling. You're disturbing.
I'm not
yourself.
yelling.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
You didn't tell me to leave till I accused you of killing your wife.
Who did you kill?
You're just doing it because you're mad. I haven't killed anybody. Never been accused of it either.
Neither have I.
You have too.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you have.
Oh.
I've talked to several deputies who worked under you, and they know you killed her.
did not.
You got
You're
an
a liar.
alcohol problem. You got a drug problem too.
You're a liar.
You were driving that cart drunk when you knocked her off and she hit her head. You can't kick me out just because you don't like what I have to say. You don't get to change the laws just because you're mad. You are not judge, jury, and executioner here. Take 3 steps back from me, Sheriff. You're not wearing a mask, and you are within inches of me. That is a threat to my safety. You take 3 steps back. Fuck you.
You're spewing COVID droplets, ma'am.
I'm wearing a mask, dumbass.
They can travel 27 feet according to Dr. Fauci.
You mad, huh?
No.
Yeah, you're mad. You're real mad.
Never seen him.
Oh, I have. I know you're a murderer. I know you killed your wife and you used your power as a ranger to cover it up, which is why you got demoted and lost your job as a ranger. I know that you're now the sheriff of Denton County and you covered up the murder of Lamont Stowers Jones. I know that you do not care at all about individual freedoms and liberty. You think you're judge, jury, and executioner. You're just like the Ku Kluxers that came before you wearing a white hat. Yours just isn't as pointy, dude. Nobody's afraid of you.
I'm not afraid of you.
Then why are you fucking getting up on me trying to intimidate me?
I'm standing right here in a public place too.
You just charged me.
No, I didn't.
Well, yes, you did. We were standing over there. You just charged me, and look what's behind me. A fucking wall.
Yeah, 3
You're nothing
feet
but a
behind me.
fucking thug.
You're a thug. No,
You're a fucking thug. That's all you are.
You're just an agitator who nobody.
I came here and stood quietly.
Nobody cares about what you got.
Oh, now I'm an agitator. I came here earlier and interviewed you. I was quiet. I didn't disrupt. And then they wanted to pull some bullshit to kick me out. I have a right to be here like anyone else,
Right
dude.
here. Fine. You stay right here.
Right, you just get to make the rules up as you go along because you're a fucking thug. You think you're judge, jury, and executioner. Why wouldn't you? You've already gotten away with murder.
You're welcome here if they.
Of course you think you can do anything you want. You get to cover up murders and murder your wife and nobody does anything about it. Maybe you should lay off the bottle. You know? Have you done that yet? Have you stopped drinking, Murphy? Have you been able to kick it yet?
What about you and your drug problem?
My drug problem. What drug problem do I have? Tell me about it.
No, I know all about it.
Tell me about it. What drug problem do I
Tell
have?
me about my drinking problem.
Oh, you did have a drinking problem. I did.
How do you know that?
Because you were drunk when you threw your wife off the back of that golf cart and her skull got crushed. Maybe you should listen to your friend. Maybe you should listen to your friend.
Oh, I know.
I do know what I'm doing. I'm demanding my rights.
He's an agitator.
Right. I've been so agitating the whole time I've been here until you tried to take my rights away from me. What you're not used to is people sticking up to you. You think I'm going to cower and be afraid of you? Take me to your jail, motherfucker. I'll be out in 15 minutes.
It may take a little longer.
Oh, are you saying you would abuse your power to keep me in jail longer?
The process takes
That's
longer
what it
than
sounds like to me. Sounds like you're threatening me to abuse your power to hold me in jail longer than I should be there.
15 minutes.
I mean, bail bondsman's watching right now, ready to go, honey.
That's fine. It takes more than 15 minutes. That's all.
Okay, 30.
Okay. Maybe 30.
Maybe 30. Great. So let's talk about my supposed drug problem, Murphy. I've explained how your alcohol problem led to the death of your wife.
People told me,
People told you what?
just like they told you, that I have a drinking problem. That
Oh, well, I heard from your deputies. Who did you hear about my drug problem from?
that's none of your business.
Oh, see, it's not tit for tat. Let's talk about how Denton County deputies keep showing up at my house for supposed 911 calls and trespassing on my property. 2 times. 2 times. Just because you didn't log the first one doesn't mean it didn't happen. Let's also talk about how you used your power to deny me an open records request. Oh, you don't want to talk to me anymore? I can't imagine why. I'm staying in this building. I know you don't care. Too bad it didn't work.
So watching the video made me very curious as to who this Sheriff Murphy really is, and why Jessica Luther Rummel was accusing him of not only the death of his wife, but the covering up of Lermont Stowers Jones' death. Lermont Stowers Jones was just 17 when his body was found near the legendary Goatman Bridge, which is named that due to the fact that the KKK performed a lynching on the black goat farmer way back when. The smallest amount of research will show you that many Klansmen resided in this area of Texas. This gives reasoning as to why Jessica said what she did towards Sheriff Murphy. All evidence points to Lermont being killed. He had actually dealt with the police before his death. In April 2018, Lermont found himself hanging out with some older gentlemen. While driving around with these older guys, they stopped at a pawn shop to pawn some items. Unfortunately, these items were later identified as stolen. When authorities checked surveillance, they found that Lermont had no involvement with the pawn interaction. Lermont immediately went to the police station to clear his name because he was certain he was innocent. He didn't have his parents or attorney with him. Talking to the police got him charged immediately and jailed for home burglary. This is why we say, time and time again on this channel, do not talk to the police without an attorney. They are not there to protect you. So fast forward to November 16, 2018, Lermont has his first probation check-in. He had been out of jail at this point and had even gotten into a fight with a white kid in school who had made racial slurs towards him. But he was past that, and even the probation officer was certain Lermont was on the right path. So November 19th, after finally being ungrounded, Lermont decided to go hang out with some friends. He would never return home and his body would be found the next day. When Lermont's parents were informed that their son's body was found, they arrived to the scene shortly after, where their son's body had already been placed in the back of the vehicle. Why is that piece of information interesting? Because after they identified their son's body and were beginning to leave the area, the forensic death investigator showed up and introduced himself to the family. Lermont's family overheard the investigator say, "No one should have touched, moved, or viewed that body before I got here." Texas Ranger Claire Barnes would rule his death a tragic accident, claiming that Lermont was smoking weed and made an impulsive decision to jump off of the bridge into the water, and his body never resurfaced. This was all too fishy, as Lermont knew how to swim but didn't like to go into the water. Also, another interesting fact, Lermont's body was found completely dry in the back of the vehicle when his parents identified him, and his clothes were neatly folded at the top of the bridge where he jumped. Folding your clothes doesn't seem to be very impulsive to me. Not only that, Texas Ranger Claire Barnes was soon fired after, for reasons unknown. So that brings us back to Sheriff Murphy, who works in the same department. Many believe the death of his wife was a cover-up by the department as well. His wife died in a golf cart accident, where she fell out and suffered a fatal hit to the head when she hit the ground. Many believe that Sheriff Murphy, who has a known history of drinking, was driving the cart intoxicated at the time that she fell. The story would come out that friends of his were driving the golf cart at the time. Those friends were never named. Sheriff Murphy, who was a ranger at the time, would soon retire after the tragedy. Many believe it had something to do with the accident. He would go on to post on Facebook that it was to look over his family, but would soon join the sheriffs after. All too interesting out of this department. I want to give one last thank you to Jessica Luther Rummel for exposing this to the people. If you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more great and informative content.